Alright guys, welcome back to Gorilla Garage Automotive. Today, well, before we get into it, this right here can't be good. We've got the good old-fashioned manual pressure tester on our cooling system. We've developed a leak. So today we will be working on our 2000 model TJ. We have developed a leak. We're going to come down here and we're going to show you all where the leak's at. There you can see it dripping into the pan. With the sun. And here we go. Looky there. Right off the balancer. Well, we ain't got a whole lot. We got the water pump right above it and the thermostat housing. Well, I can show you without a doubt the thermostat housing is dry. Our water pump has a weep hole, so I feel very confident that we have to replace this water pump. We're going to verify that our thermostat housing is dry. You can see right there, nothing's dripping out from underneath it. It is completely dry. So we're going to tackle this water pump today. So stay tuned. For any of y'all that don't know how to do this, it could be a good beginner's video for you. For you pros, hey, you already know what the deal is. Alright, we're going to take this fan clutch loose. We've got our tool set up. Let's see what happens. Oh wow, that thing came really loose. Alright, we're going to go ahead. Alright, before we start this job, we're going to go ahead and get this radiator drained. It's probably going to make a mess and hit all these suspension parts. So let's go ahead. There we go. Alright, we're going to go ahead and let it do its thing. We'll come back to it. Well, I'm gonna let it do about like that. It's take a minute. Go eat some lunch or something and come back and it should be drained out. Alright guys, here we are. These are the parts we're going to use today. We're going to go ahead and start out with this AC Delco water pump. There's your GM number right there. It's Motorrad thermostat. I think it called for like 190, 195, but there's your Motorrad number. We're going to use these Felpro gaskets. There's your thermostat housing gasket, Felpro product. The water pump came with a gasket, but we're going to go ahead and use this Felpro water pump. Oh, let me get this thing turned around right here for you. That's your Felpro number, water pump gasket, but you don't have to. The pump usually comes with a gasket, so you can use that one if you like. Here's our upper hose gates and our lower hose also gates. Okay guys, we no sponsor obviously by any means, but we used Rock Auto. We ordered it up, got it all sent to the house. That way we didn't have to run around from store to store, you know, in case one of them didn't have the parts. More than likely they will, but we did this just for time and convenience. All right, these are the parts we're going to be using today. All right, we're going to pull this overflow reservoir, then we're going to take this upper hose off, then we're going to pull the shroud and fan together. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to get this upper hose off. We'll get this upper hose off here and we'll get the fan and shroud. And then we should be able to get to our water pump. Check out this old hot rod coming down the road. Let's see what we got. Bolts out of the shroud and then take that fan off with it. Okay. Get that fan. Okay. Good deal. Kind of walk them both together hopefully. Stay off that radiator. ahead and get this hose off and sensor unplugged. Lower hose and this idler to clear that pipe. Out of the way. What was it, about a 14 or 15? Idler out of the way to have clearance for that pipe right there. We're going to go ahead and take his thermostat housing off. I think we just got 2 bolts. Somebody's replaced that before. You can tell it's got a different gasket. Looks like from over here anyhow. Thermostat housing on, yeah. And a little step stool would be nice too. There we go. Break it free. There we go. Pull that hose off. There you go. Get this clamp out of the way here. There we go. Yeah, a little radiator hose coming off. It's probably operator error. There we go. Take this pan right here. There we go, not much loss. We'll go ahead and get this water pump bolts loose now. There's 5 of them that we counted. Let's see if I can get down here. This fender comes. Let's see where we at. I have to go by feel. Right there. There's no one right here. Alright, let's go ahead and get the bolts out now. Alright, we got all the bolts out. Let's take this pump off. But let's, be careful not to, if you made a mess, that's okay, but not to get into the radiator. So, hey, that's what we got all them pans and all down there for. Alright guys, we laid our bolts out in order the way they came off the water pump, and as you can see, they're extremely filthy. So what we're going to do, we're going to clean those threads up. And by the way, this was a 13 millimeter. So I've really been lax on not saying what we've been using, but we've mostly used a 13 millimeter hose clamp pliers, a screwdriver, a hose pick. You know, that's essentially mostly what you'll need. Then we're gonna come on over here, get this area all nice and cleaned up. We're gonna clean everything up really good before we go back together. We'll probably take a razor blade and scraper to the water pump and thermostat housing mounting surfaces. Then we'll sand them, get them real good and clean. We did glue our gaskets on, and we did use Velcro gaskets. Oh, let's show them before we get all out. Show them how nice and clean it is down in there now. Josh got everything all nice and cleaned up. Looks good. Feel pretty comfortable with that. So we're gonna go back with our water pump. Right there, like I said, glued the gaskets on. This top bolt right here is the only bolt that's any different length, so you can't really get them mixed up. Our other thermostat didn't have that little water, I don't know what you call it, little water pass through in it. If you get one that doesn't have a water pass through in it, each his own, do what you want, but I take the smallest drill bit I can find and put it close to, like, say right where my thumb is, and drill a little hole right there in case the thermostat stuck to the shut side. It will allow some water to flow through. That on there, go ahead, that just sits right there. Again, I like to glue my gaskets on there. If that's wrong or right, just let me know. It's the way I've always been doing it. I don't use a ton of glue, I just use enough to hold my gasket in place. Thermostat housing's on, snug down. There again, about 22 foot-pounds will be enough. A lot of guys like these clamps, a lot of guys don't. I like to use them over. I mean, as long as they ain't leaking, I don't have a problem with them, you know, because they're always finding tension as long as they're not messed up when you take them off. All right, that's on. Let's go ahead and get our lower hose on, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put our belt on, and we'll do lower hose, belt, fan shroud, fan, and upper hose, and start to fill it up. Got her back together, and we're putting some brand new fresh antifreeze in it. We're gonna fill it up till she gets in the radiator. Not all the way. I like to crank it and let it run, let it come up to temperature, and just kind of add to it as it needs it. All right, Josh, go ahead and crank it up. All right. Look good there. Full there. All right, guys, this battery's about dead on this GoPro. We're gonna run it. You keep adding to it, and when the thermostat opens up, about 205 or something like that, or 195. I'm sorry. All right, guys. Well, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like this video, give us a bad comment. All right, guys. Until next time. Thanks for watching.